Hello everyone and welcome to Content Marketing Insider powered by Repurpose.io. I'm your host, Roy Garcia. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to part 2 of this amazing and content-filled episode. Now, just in case you missed out part 1, the links are in the description below. You might want to check that out first. And without further ado, welcome to part 2 of this insightful episode. Here we go. Here's the second point. Repurposing videos with impact. Now, we have the pillar content, the foundation content. Now it's time to repurpose this video. And there's a lot of ways you can repurpose video, but it has to be with impact. It has to matter. So tell us more about that, Mark.
Myriad of ways. I mean, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of ways you can repurpose content. But I think one of the quickest and fastest ways is there's maybe two. Number one, take your video and chop it up into smaller videos so you can bump it out to places like TikTok and, Reels and Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, Pinterest, all these other places. Utilize it for that. But I'm real big on blogging still. Like, I'm a big blogger. Like, I love my blog. It's a huge part of my branding. It's a huge part of my overall content strategy. It's a huge part of how I make sales all the time. And so I'll take a video transcript, which is very easy. You can go to YouTube and pull it for free. And then, the wonderful world of AI and ChatGPT, it's very easy to grab my transcript, run over to ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you take this video transcript, put all the concept into a readable article that does not read like a transcript and correct any grammatical mistakes. 10 seconds later, I got a perfect article based on the content that I created out of my video, and I can take that and slap it on my blog. It's all in my tone. It's all in the way I do things. It's just corrected and made it read more like an article, not a transcript. That's super easy to do. You can do. And then you can also go through it, maybe add a few things here and there, SEO it. Now you've got a perfect SEO article based on a video that you already created. You don't have to rethink and create something new. So that's kind of like first and foremost what you can do. And then you use an awesome tool like repurpose.io, and you can just pull that video straight from YouTube and start creating little video snippets with ease right within the platform that you guys have put together. So it's like it really works incredibly well. So that's one way to do it. You could literally do that, in a matter of minutes. And that's the cool thing about it. Now, the other thing is too, I also do this for repurposing. I take all these blog posts that I have, and I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them that I've created over the years. And I have an auto poster, that I use for posting to social media. And every Monday is like Monday marketing tips on my Facebook page and some of my groups. So I just go over to some of my blog posts and I'll pull out a little section, and all I do is copy, paste, maybe change up a little bit so it reads more like a Facebook post. And I just start loading those in there. And I'll have posts in there, 6 months ahead. So every Monday at the same time, every Monday, I'm dropping a marketing tip from a video that was a pillar video. I didn't have to think about it anymore. It just drops, and had a whole bunch of comments on it already in one of my groups. And people were like, oh, this is so good. This is me. This is, and it's like, gosh, I don't even remember putting this in there. I must have loaded it in a couple months ago. So it's a cool way to do it. It's not hard.
What would be the benefits of repurposing content? Like for someone who may not have experienced repurposing, maybe that's a word that they've heard about, or maybe this is the first time. Yeah. What would be the benefits of repurposing content from a video?
First one right off the bat is way less work. I'm someone who works really hard to be lazy. To me, it's like, think about if you were trying to operate on multiple platforms, which, I'm always telling people too, be careful, don't spread yourself too thin, but it's good to have omnipresence and have one place that you really focus the most, but you do want to be on other platforms also. So it's like, if I can create content for those other platforms based on something that I've already done, I don't have to waste more brain power creating it for that. And it's not being lazy to do that type of repurpose, it's being smart, because the average person doesn't know that you've created that from a video. You're just creating good content, giving them things, and you're giving it in a different format so that people can maybe receive it differently. I've been married 20 years now. And there's something, where my wife will say something to me and it doesn't click. And then somebody else will say it and I'm going, oh yeah. And my wife will nudge me and go, I've been telling you that for 6 months. Yeah, honey, but it was repurposed, So that's kind of, that's kind of the way we can look at it. But the truth is that it just saves you a ton of time. And we only have so much brain power to use every day. Once we use it, it's gone, and there's times where I'll use it up and I'm like, oh, it's ready for the couch and watching a movie or something, So it's just about being smarter, not working harder. And that's really what it comes down to. So that's the biggest benefit to me.
And I like what you mentioned about time and how important time is. And yes, it is about working smarter. And you mentioned something about trying to be everywhere all at the same time. And we all know there's like a lot of social media channels out there. We don't have to talk about each and every one of them because we already know them. But if I were to start repurposing my content, where would you recommend that I go first? Second part of the question is, does the channel matter when it comes to potential market or where your target audience is?
So a lot of my audience is on Facebook. So that's where I put a lot of primary focus. I do obviously YouTube as well because a lot of my market is there too. So I think it's key to understand where your market hangs out. But as far as the platforms, in my mind, I'm like, as many as you can get your stuff on, like as many out there, because I just did a training recently with some of my students, and I literally took a video that I had created and repurposed out on all these different platforms. And I took that and I went to Google, and guess what happened? I showed them, look, here's that same video on TikTok. Here's that same video on Reels. Here's that same video on Facebook. And they're all indexed in the search engines. So what happens if somebody searches and just so happens to stumble upon your video? I don't go on Twitter much. I have a Twitter profile. I'm not crazy about, it's not like my favorite platform, but of course, why would I not put my videos there? All that stuff ranks on Google. Now I don't necessarily SEO it for that purpose or whatever, but you never know how people are going to find your content. And this is where I think people tend to overthink it too much. And it's like, oh, I got to make sure every piece is like, just if you focus on like the biggest thing to do every day is just create some content, put it out there, focus on that, and let the chips fall where they may. The people who really are going to make it in this are the ones that just got their audience in mind and are creating good content from an honest place. And that's where I think you're going to get the most benefit. And that's just me. I mean, some people might have a different philosophy than me, but I just don't try to get so worked up in all those little minutia details. But that's platform wise. Now, I know this is the repurpose.io podcast, I get that, but I can't even begin to tell you that tool is like my favorite tool. Like it is the best tool to use when you're repurposing, especially videos. I mean, it is only getting better. I mean, I chat with you all the time. I chat with Hanny, and you guys are just on top of it when, getting things out there. And it's just a wonderful tool. I mean, when I first found it, I was like jumping out of my chair. I'm like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been looking for all these years. We used to have a tool way back in the day called Traffic Geyser. It's no longer around.
Oh that man, was Traffic Geyser.
You remember that back in the day?
Man, we're old. We're old in this sphere. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. So, and I kind of likened it to that because you could really get your stuff out there in like in a mass way. And repurpose.io does that. And that's what got me excited about it because it really, was tapped into the video side of things, especially.
Well, since Mark mentioned that, we just want to let everybody know that repurpose.io does have a 14-day free trial. Go ahead and try it out for yourself. Get your content in there and get it out to places like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Hey, you name it, we probably have it. So go ahead, click the link in the description below and get yourself a free 14-day trial. And you can thank us for it. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just take Mark's word for it. Go ahead and test it out. Repurpose.io/free.
I was going to say, if you like to save time, I mean, you're crazy not to. That's just my thinking. But unless you like spending a lot of time going from platform to platform.
Yeah, if you're that kind of a person who just wants to be enslaved hey, go ahead, do your thing. But
Exactly.
if you want to be free, then go ahead, go repurpose.io/free.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're back on the podcast. Mark Harbert here. We're talking about the art of engaging content, and we're talking about the techniques for effective generation and repurposing of videos. We've already have 2 points, and we talked about the pillar video blueprint. Second is repurposing videos with impact. Here's number 3, strategic promotion of repurposed videos. I like this because it's not just promoting things. It's not just promoting videos, but it's repurposed videos. But there's a strategy to it. There's a science to it.
Yeah.
There's a way to it. Tell us more about it, Mark.
One of my main platforms is Facebook. I've put more and more focus on Instagram as well. One of the big things when it comes to Facebook is Facebook stories. You got Facebook stories, which is another great way to promote. So every video that you put out there and it goes, say, on your Facebook page or your profile, the first thing you should do is run over to that place and just click it and promote it on your Facebook story. Now, the cool thing is I know repurpose.io literally just added that. So you can now repurpose straight to the story as well. Another time saver. But the first thing is like a lot of people just post a video, put it up there and then just like sit. No, get it, push it out any possible way that you can. So share it to your stories. I like to do a lot of Facebook advertising. So I'll take videos and I'll run some ads to it to build up an audience, get it out there so people can see, because you can reach a lot more people if you choose to play in the paid advertising space as well. But it's really kind of just doing that. You know, if you have an email list, that to me is one of the core reasons I've been able to be around as long, because I'm focused on building the email list. Everything I try to do runs back to that. So if I create a video on YouTube, like a pillar video, when I'm done, one of the first things I'll do is I'll post it on my blog with an article, and I immediately email it to my list. And like, hey, new blog post for you. Here's what it covers, blah, blah, blah. I have an email list. I'm nurturing the people on that list with great content, helping to educate them. So when time comes to promo something, they're more likely to want to purchase because they're familiar with who I am. They've seen the value I provide and things like that. So promotion is using every channel available to you to get people to watch. One of the other cool things is if you're building like a Facebook group, obviously you can post that in the Facebook group, and there's other different ways to do that. Facebook groups offer the everyone tag, which, you know, a lot of people don't like, but who cares? It's a great way to promote your content. I say try to stick to content that is valuable so that people don't feel like they're being pitched all the time. You know, that little at everyone tag does get annoying, but if it's good content, people go, oh, a new video. You know, they're going to come over and want to. This is why I'm so big on building an email list, because you can actually use your email list as a way to prime the algorithm. You see, like I got an audience and I'm throwing them at that right now to watch it. So they're going to watch it, and the algorithms are going to see that there's people watching it and interacting. And they're going, oh, maybe we should push this out to more people. And so having your own asset like an email list will help you to do that.
You mentioned something about emails, and I think, you know, just like what you mentioned earlier, like a lot of people think that long form content is dead. And some people are also saying that email is dead, you know, but that's not true. That is a hoax. Email is still very important.
Let me say something on that real quick.
Right.
Go ahead and keep saying that, because that means less emails in the inbox that I have to compete with. So everybody can say that all you want, and I don't mind one bit, because it is completely false. But if people want to hold on to that, they can.
Since we're talking about email, is there a way to use video to create an email list? And, you know, since we're talking about strategy, is there a strategy to do that?
Let's just go to YouTube. If you create a long form video or a shorts video, one of the great things about YouTube is that you can post a comment and it allows you to pin the comment to the top. So what'll happen is you could direct people with your final call to action on any video, comment below. You know, your call to action could simply be to comment below. And I've also got a free gift for you there in the comment. So people can go there, and that comment's going to be right at the top with the link. You can have a little call to action where they're going to click on that, and then they could go opt into an email list. So same thing with Facebook. Now, Facebook doesn't allow you to pin the comment, at least not yet. But when you put a link in the comments, more than likely yours is going to be the first one at the top, because you're the author and creator of that video. So same thing. So people can go there they'll look at the comments and your link will be right there to a capture page where you can start building an email list.
So it's interesting that it still goes back to more or less the pillar videos, right? Well, at least on YouTube, it still goes back to that.
Yeah.
But either way, whether we're talking of long form content or short form content, part of your strategy is not just to bring eyeballs to your shorts or eyeballs to your video, but there has to be another step to that, whether it's, sign up on my email list or, check out this website. Is that something that we would need to do every time we have a video out?
To me, it's like, it's great to put out videos and build an audience, but if you're not bringing people to something that you own, because I don't own my Facebook account, I don't own my YouTube channel, I don't own my TikTok account, none of that. As a matter of fact, I mean, I've seen hordes of people getting shut down on TikTok, for various reasons or whatever. And it's like, what are you going to do if you put in all that hard work? I know someone who had 200,000 followers on TikTok, built a great email list, but guess what? Their TikTok account got shut down. But guess what? They built the email list and they weren't overly concerned. They built a list of like 25, 30,000 people on an email list. So the great news is that they focused on doing the right thing. Now, even though that was shut down, they started up a new channel and they were able to use that email list to supercharge the new TikTok. You see, that's why when people say email is dead, I'm like, you don't get it, man. Like, you're just not sinking in. Like, it's not dead. It's a matter of learning how to use it correctly so that it becomes a foundation. It's probably the highest ROI channel you will ever have. And that's why my focus is using all these social platforms to move them off into an ecosystem that I control and that can't be ripped out. When you look at things like that, you're going to have a business that lasts a long time. And there's a reason that I've been here for 15 years building a business online, because I am a stickler for the foundations. It's just important to really focus on those basics and stop listening to all the gurus that tell you email is dead, because it's not. And if you have one singular focus all your content as much as possible into something you own, so that if and when those platforms go away, you own it. And the other thing, very important, this is another way that I love repurpose.io, because every channel can be set up to connect with Dropbox. So you're immediately making a backup of every single video you ever create. What happens if you're creating it, you're not backing any of it up and it's all scattered on your hard drive? Repurpose is so easy. I don't even have to think about it. It just does it all.
Yeah, you can actually back it up on Dropbox, on Google Drive, and the videos that you upload that have these watermarks. Once they're backed up in the Google Drive or Dropbox using repurpose.io, you won't find any of those watermarks. So at least you can now upload that to other channels as well. Now, before we go, Mark, let's say, for example, you are in front of like all these entrepreneurs, all these content marketers, whether they're just starting out or, dabbling, and they love what you're saying. And you got like a few minutes or a few seconds or a few moments left. What would be your call to action for them to do?
So definitely, number one, the biggest thing would be is find out what you're passionate about. What do you love to do? And how can you share that with the world? And how can you monetize it? If you figure that out, and what's going to happen is when you're doing what you're doing, it's not going to feel like work to you. You're going to do it because you absolutely love it. And I think that's where a lot of people are. They want to make money online, but they're trying to do it with something they're not real passionate about. So find what you love. And that is the foundation for a good business. I love marketing. That's why I teach it. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love working with my students and businesses and things like that. So if you can find that and you can turn it into a business, you're going to be in a good position to figure it out. May not happen right away. That's why it's important to do what you love, because if you don't love it, you're going to quit, because it's not easy.
Well, thank you again, Mark Harbert, for taking the time to be with us here at Content Marketing Insider. Such a wonderful time with lots of knowledge and value. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Roy. I appreciate it. And like I said, you and I have known each other for many years, so it's always a great time to get on and talk with you.
And that is our episode for today here at Content Marketing Insider, powered by repurpose.io. For Mark Harbert, this is Roy Garcia. We'll see you again next time.